If you're obsessed with cutting-edge technology like I am, you're in for a treat today. NVIDIA's GTC 2025 keynote just dropped. And once again, Jensen Huang took stage to blow our minds with what's coming, the future of AI and robotics. This year's event was absolutely stacked with announcements. The presentation was over 2 hours long, but don't worry, I've gone through it all to bring you the top 10 game-changing highlights in less than 15 minutes.
This is where almost the entire world got it wrong. The computation requirement, the scaling law of AI is more resilient and, in fact, hyper-accelerated. The amount of computation we need at this point as a result of agentic AI, as a result of reasoning, is easily 100 times more than we thought we needed this time last year.
Kicking things off at number 1, the star of the show, NVIDIA Blackwell. This isn't just a new chip, it's a whole new architecture and it's now in full production. Jensen Huang dropped a jaw-dropping stat. Blackwell is 50,000 times faster than the first CUDA GPU from way back when. Let that sink in for a second. 50,000 times faster. That's not just an upgrade, it's a revolution. This kind of performance leap is going to shake up everything from gaming to scientific research to massive AI deployments. Imagine the possibilities. We've been talking a lot about AI inference, the next wave of computing power needed for AI. And Blackwell, of course, is going to help with this in many ways. The keynote mentions that Blackwell achieves up to 25 times higher performance at the same power consumption compared to Hopper. In essence, Blackwell provides a holistic solution for advancing AI inference. Its enhanced computational power accelerates individual inference requests, while NVLink 72 enables the scaling necessary for serving a large number of users with complex models. And newly announced Dynamo acts as the intelligent orchestrator, optimizing the use of these resources for both high throughput and low latency. Blackwell's power is all about pushing accelerated computing to new heights, and it's setting the stage for some of the wild stuff we talk about later. But trust me, this is just the beginning. Number 2, Blackwell's insane boost to AI reasoning models. Jensen Huang revealed that Blackwell delivers 40 times the performance of its predecessor, Hopper. That's the kind of AI that doesn't just crunch through numbers, but actually thinks through complex problems. We're talking faster, smarter, and way more efficient systems. We're no longer talking about just chatbots and LLMs. We're talking about scientific breakthroughs. And this isn't just about raw speed, not at all. It's about making AI more practical and accessible for the next wave of applications. And developers and researchers are going to have a heyday with this type of processing power. At number 3, let's talk about some of Jensen Huang's standout quotes that had the audience cracking up. Jensen's always good for a laugh or two every time he presents. When he talked about Blackwell first shipping, he said that you couldn't give a Hopper away. He's basically saying that Hopper is great, but Blackwell is just on an entire different level. Then in a moment of pure Jensen humor, he called himself the chief revenue destroyer. He even commented that his sales team might not like those remarks, and there are circumstances where Hopper is fine. That's the best thing I can say about Hopper. Essentially, Jensen's saying that when the new GPU lines come out, it makes the previous line basically obsolete. Now, there'll still be a need for Hopper, some of the smaller companies and governments and so on. But when you think about the mega cap tech and these billions of dollars of CapEx, we're in an AI arms race, and those Magnificent Seven type names, they're the ones that are going to want to spend money on that next generation. In the end, Jensen's really saying that Hopper's a beast, but there's a new king in town with Blackwell. And every single year, I'll talk about this later, there's going to be a new version. Number 4 is all about NVIDIA's promise to its customers, commitment to value. With all these upgrades, you might wonder, are they just trying to upsell us every year? Jensen tackled that head on, and he said, we're not trying to sell you less. The more you buy, the more you save. That's a bold stance. It's all about delivering value at scale. Whether you're a small startup company or a massive mega cap tech company, NVIDIA wants you to feel good about investing in its ecosystem. Now, we could go down a rabbit hole on this topic about software, but CUDA really is what differentiates NVIDIA versus its competition like AMD. But I believe the messaging was very smart, building trust with customers while pushing the envelope and pushing that next technology. Now, I haven't heard from you yet, so I want you to drop a comment and let me know what you think. If you're a company spending money, are you going to be hesitant knowing that there's a new technology coming out in 6 months or 12 months? Or are you just going to keep spending as much as you can to keep up with that AI arms race? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. Moving on to number 5, NVIDIA gave us a peek into the future with a multi-year roadmap all the way out to 2028. Of course, currently we have NVIDIA Blackwell in full productions. That's 2 Blackwell GPUs in one package. Blackwell with the NVLink 72 and Dynamo that I mentioned earlier is 40x AI factory performance versus Hopper for reasoning models. Under ISO power, Blackwell is also 25 times better than Hopper. This, of course, is very important as we look to the future with electrical needs. Now in late 2025, so the back half of this year, you're gonna have Blackwell Ultra. That's 1.5x more flops than Blackwell, 1.5x more memory, 2 times more networking bandwidth. Jensen also talked about NVIDIA's Silicon Photonics switch. It was a very, very cool segment. We're talking about the world's first 1.6 terabit per second co-packaged optics. This will save tens of megawatts in data centers versus traditional transceivers. Now in the second half of 2026, we have the new model called Rubin. This is the next gen architecture after Blackwell, and it's named after Vera Rubin. She was an American astronomer, pioneered work on galaxy rotation rates. Now this is gonna have a new CPU with 2 times the performance of Grace, more memory and bandwidth than prior generations, pushing the envelope further. Rubin also has a brand new GPU. This is the CX9. The second half of 2027, then you're gonna have the Rubin Ultra. Of course, an advancement of the Vera Rubin. This is gonna be extreme scale-up architecture again. Each rack, 600 kilowatts, 2.5 million parts, very complex. And of course, a bunch of technical terms here. It's gonna be really, really fast. And as you can see on the graphic here, you also have 2028 with Feynman. This isn't just a roadmap. This is the blueprint for the next decade of AI. Companies can plan ahead, and this type of transparency, I think, is huge for businesses that want to work with NVIDIA. At number 6, Jensen painted a wild vision of the future. 10 billion AI agents. You heard that right. 10 billion. These aren't just random bots. They're intelligent agents working alongside us. He sees a future of AI agents as well as humanoid robotics working with humans side by side. This is essentially a digital workforce. Imagine AI assistants in every home, every office, every factory, handling tasks that we can't even dream of yet. Now, what does that mean exactly? Think about where the internet was and where it is. Everything in the past was about creating content in advance and then storing it somewhere, and basically something like Google would query that, it'd retrieve that data. With AI, we're no longer retrieving data. We're generating answers in real time. Agentic AI can perceive and understand the circumstance. It can reason on how to solve a problem. It can plan actions. It can even use tools. It can go out and watch a video and learn from that video and come back and actually take action of what we're trying to accomplish. So we're in the early stages of agentic AI, and then next is going to be robotic AI, also known as physical AI. In fact, Jensen, in the keynote speech, his exact words, robotics will be the biggest industry of all. This isn't science fiction. This is NVIDIA's vision of what the future will look like. It's a massive shift in how we interact with machines. And honestly, it's exciting, it's mind-blowing, and quite frankly, it's a little bit scary. Number 7, AI for the enterprise. This is about NVIDIA's push into enterprise tech. They unveiled the new line of DGX workstations, as well as servers built for the AI age. This is about bringing AI out of the cloud and into businesses everywhere. And this is a big deal for companies that are trying to integrate AI without having to rely on those huge cloud service providers, the Amazons, the Oracles, the Microsofts, the Googles, and so on. NVIDIA is betting big on enterprise, and it's looking pretty slick. It's not going to replace the cloud service providers, but for specific niches, DGX hardware can be a very strong solution. Number 8, as you guys know, if you've been following the channel, I think that autonomous driving vehicles in general are going to be huge for NVIDIA, automotive. The total addressable market, or TAM, is absolutely massive, and NVIDIA is just getting started in this segment. On the keynote, Jensen talked about NVIDIA's push into automotive, specifically around safety. And that's an initiative called HALOS, H-A-L-O-S. In addition to this, NVIDIA is partnering with tons of different vehicle manufacturers, including Toyota, and specifically announced yesterday, General Motors. GM is teaming up with NVIDIA to build its next-gen self-driving car fleet. Now, some of you might laugh at that and say, GM, they're not even close to Tesla. I get it. But eventually, all car manufacturers, if they want to be relevant, they're going to have autonomous driving. So this partnership with GM and NVIDIA, it spans manufacturing, enterprise ops, and in-car computing. This is all powered by NVIDIA's AI infrastructure. We're talking about the future autonomous vehicles at scale. I believe in the future, you're going to be able to get into pretty much any vehicle made, and it's going to be able to drive you to wherever you want to go. And if you're not familiar with NVIDIA's AV technology, I encourage you to check out the website. There's a ton of information out there. Number 9 takes us into the quantum realm. Jensen and NVIDIA announced its first ever quantum day at this year's GTC. And of course, this shows NVIDIA's interest in quantum computing, which everyone would agree is the future at some point. They're exploring how accelerated computing can intersect with quantum. And quite frankly, that gets me excited. You can see some of the guests and speakers on here, like with D-Wave, Microsoft, and more. It's early days, but I do believe that NVIDIA is planting seeds for something very big in the future. We could talk a long time about quantum and my thoughts on where that's headed. But will NVIDIA be part of quantum? The answer is absolutely yes. You can see Peter Chapman from IonQ is on here, Rigetti, and more. This is next level, and believe me when I tell you, NVIDIA will be part of quantum computing. I've got one more highlight to cover, and immediately after that, I'm going to spend a couple minutes talking about NVIDIA stock and where I think it's headed next. Is NVIDIA stock a buy right now? Stay tuned for that. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the next video. Click that bell for notifications. And if this video is helpful, taking 2.5 hours of information and put it into a 15-minute consumable video, please return the favor, drop me a like, and drop me a comment. Rounding out at number 10. Now, I mentioned this earlier just briefly. This could be the hidden gem of the entire keynote presentation. NVIDIA's advancements in photonics are a game changer. This technology, which includes co-packaged optics, helps tackle the energy and the bottlenecks that we're facing with the energy requirements. Traditional transceivers are not the answer. This is going to be the key to building multi-million GPU clusters. Think about insane scale for AI and beyond. This right here is the unsung hero of the entire presentation. Behind all the other flashy announcements, this makes the impossible possible. Is NVIDIA stock a buy right now? Year to date, it's down 12.5%. You can see today it was up 1.74%. In the last year, it's up 32.77%. Valuation, PE gap forward, 26.65. That peg gap, TTM, 0.27. Of course, this stock has to keep growing or it's going to get absolutely hammered. The same with the gross margins. If you see those margins come down, that could impact the stock as well. NVIDIA stock should not have been down 3% yesterday after the keynote presentation. The reality is the entire market was down, and there are still a lot of naysayers about AI. There's DeepSeek worries, and there's worries about recession and much, much more. Now, assuming that we don't go into recession and the market stays bullish, this is a strong buy. Look at this, 39 analysts say buy, 3 hold, 0 sell. Now, you're never just going to buy off of analyst price targets, but the average here is $176, a 50% upside from today's price. The stock came down to just under $105 here recently on the sell-off. But remember, we had a correction in the S&P 500, down 10%. The NASDAQ down 14%. At Magnificent 7, those are the stocks that are being sold off. There's a rotation. I still am in the camp. I believe this stock will be between 165 and 175 the second half of 2025. And it's even possible you could see something like $200 in the next 18 months. Now, of course, if the entire market rolls over and sells off, we go into a bear market recession, well, all bets are off. I've been long on NVIDIA since $3.94. It's my largest position, and I'm very bullish on this company long term. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, drop me a comment. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.